Okay, so everyone, our opening for the month is
Ponziani.
okay. So today we are going to discuss it properly because we haven't done it yet this month. Yeah, you played the Ponziani many times. How do you play the Ponziani, Ari?
Pawn e4,
E5.
y, knight f3, knight c6,
Knight f3, knight c6.
c3.
Okay, so this is the Ponziani. This much is mandatory, right? Huh? What f4?
F4.
How will you play f4?
Queen f4.
What the hell?
Well, f4 is just one of the lines. Don't play it in every Ponziani you play. That's why we are learning it now, so that we understand what is the Ponziani about. So first thing we have to understand is the reason for playing this move. Is it to bring out the queen, or is it something else?
It is to bring
Pawn
up
on
the
d4.
pawn to d4.
The pawn to d4. Okay. So the idea is to play pawn to d4. Yeah, that we have to understand. So now let's think about what black's best moves are.
Knight f6 or
Oh.
d5. That's a blunder.
Why is knight f6 a blunder?
Like not a blunder, but many opponents will get tricked into it. Because after d4,
Huh.
if
Black and
knight,
let's say black takes. Oh, okay, knight takes. Huh?
if knight takes on e4,
Huh. What will white do?
then white will put the pawn to d5.
Huh. I'll move my knight.
Isn't this like a Halloween?
This is okay for black. It's not blunder. It's fine.
Isn't this the Halloween camp?
And now you'll take back the pawn, right?
Yeah.
Huh. So this position is still okay for silence, guys. How is it happening? Are you giving up any piece?
No, then we bring
It's just equal.
then we bring the bishop out to b5.
You take the bishop out. First of all, it is black's turn.
Sir,
And what will black play here? Like, think about black's best move here, guys. So this position so far is okay for black. This is completely playable. This is one of the lines in the Ponziani. When black plays knight f6, this is how it can lead to.
Oh, I think he's
But
saying.
now, next move for black.
I think he's
No,
saying.
no, 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 no. Now you just have to think about the next move, Ashwik. Try to decide what's the best option for black.
No, I'm saying. I think what he's saying and most people fall for is d6.
Did I ask you to say any of that? I'm asking you what is the best move for black. Simple. So try to stick to what is being asked instead of being over smart.
Yeah, many people fall. d6.
Can you be quiet now, Aryan? Decide your move and tell me your move. Simple. What will you play for black? Okay, Aryan first.
Pawn g6.
Huh? Pawn c6.
g6. g6.
Pawn g6. Okay, Veer Vikram.
Pawn f6.
Pawn f6. And Ashwik?
1/6.
Pawn f6. So everybody wants to kick this knight, but Radak is thinking, why is nobody playing d6? Right? That's the most natural thing in the world. But it's a blunder because Ashwik.
Bishop to b5.
Yeah, bishop to b5, and now black is in trouble. So this is the only trap in the Ponziani. Like, if black plays this, in one of the lines, if this happens, then white wins. Because you can't block with the bishop, you lose the queen and the bishop. If you play c6, takes, you get the
And
rook.
you'll get the rook.
Yeah, so you
And
don't
you'll
have to...
promote to another queen, basically.
No,
How do you
sir.
promote to another queen?
See.
Takes, bishop, knight takes, bishop takes. There's no pawn. Pawn is exchange.
So what do you get the rook, right?
Huh? Yeah, if takes, knight takes, bishop locks, you get an exchange, not a rook. You win 2 points.
No,
you
sir.
win an exchange.
Actually,
I saw a line.
you should take the knight after they block it the bishop.
You should take what knight?
I
After
saw a video and
after c6,
Then takes, knight takes, then
knight takes, what happens?
then after knight takes,
Bishop takes.
then bishop takes, then if
Bishop
they,
d7 and then we take this knight. Correct, good point. Because that's winning a piece. This is only winning an exchange. So we take the piece. This is what will likely happen if you fall for that trap. So basically, playing knight f6 is not a blunder, it is one of the main moves. It is the main move in the Ponziani. So after e4, e5,
when did you come?
knight f3, knight c6, c3, we are discussing knight f6. It is the most common move in the Ponziani. It's the most normal way to play. You're developing a piece and you're attacking e4. But white is going to tell black, I don't care about the e4 pawn. I'm going with my plan, which was d4. And now we just saw what happens after knight takes pawn. You basically play Ranak. What will white do after knight takes pawn?
Pawn push.
Yeah, we push the pawn, knight will move, and then we get back the pawn with a slightly better position, which is what white wants in the opening. And if black takes here, that's also fine. People play this also.
Pawn takes.
No, that's a blunder. No, blunder is a mistake. Why is pawn takes pawn bad? Ranak.
Knight takes pawn.
Yeah, you lose a free pawn. So that means what do we have to play here? Rayansh. Rayansh. Instead of pawn takes, what should white do first? Rayansh.
Queen to a4.
What is this queen a4 with everything? Rayansh and who else was saying? Ranak was also. What is queen a4? You're bringing out a piece when you already lost a pawn. There's nothing in there. There's no pin also. You down a pawn, mister. He took your pawn. Now he'll take one more pawn. You'll be down 2 pawns and you can take one back. So why do you want to bring out a queen when we're already down a pawn? When there is nothing there. Veer Vikram.
Pawn to e5.
Yeah, so if you directly take back, the problem is he takes your pawn. So push the pawn. Correct. Just like the other line, you push, take back the pawn. Same thing here. You push, he can move e4 or d5, both are fine. And then we take back. Still slightly better for white, but that's how it is in any opening. But black is fine here. Black can play this position. He can play g6 or d6, bishop e7 and castle. All these are fine moves. White has some control of the center, but because they have moved forward the pawns, the squares are not controlled properly. So this is what will happen in that line.
So
Right?
what is CID?
CID.
Children's Independence Day. Today my exam is finished.
Oh, okay. Alright. So what we are discussing right now is the lines of the Ponziani. After e4, e5, knight out, c3. We are discussing knight out. At the end, we will revise everything. For now, we have understood what happens after knight f6, the most common move against the Ponziani. What will white do? Ashvik?
Sir, push the pawn. D4.
D4. And now, what are the options for black? Arya?
Option for black is take on d4.
Huh. Or?
Knight e4.
Yeah. And are both of those fine for black?
Yeah.
Yeah, both are fine. Black can choose either of the two. What happens after that, we'll revise at the end. Now let's go back. After playing Ponziani, black has a more aggressive move, which is not as common as knight f6 because it leads to very complicated positions. And what is that move, guys?
e5.
Yeah. Black can challenge the sender straight away. Normally this move would be bad because after takes, the knight can come out, attacking the queen for free. So developing a piece for free. Here because already c3 is played, that's not a problem for black. So now those who don't know the opening will play. Shaurya, what will you play here?
We should not take.
But you will take, right? I've seen you take in the last class. No?
But that is match. We have pressure.
Okay. So if without pressure, what will you play?
I would play queen to a5.
Huh?
No, queen to a4.
How did you come to that move? How did you find that move? Did you hear it from somebody or did you learn it from somewhere? How did you arrive? You never heard me tell about this.
Good. A straight off cap.
That's what I'm asking. So how did you get to that move? I'm asking. Is it from memory or is it you found over the board?
Me and Riyan
Okay, fine. He doesn't want to say how he doesn't know how he
Straight
found it.
up cap.
Okay, so after d5, white should not take because this is a very comfortable position for black. Black is slightly better. That's the absolute worst way you can play the opening as white because white is supposed to be slightly better in the opening. If black is slightly better because black is threatening e4, knight will have to move and you will have to play d3 to stop that. And then this pawn becomes a target, bishop to f5, castles. Black's position becomes super good. This must have happened in some games last week. I remember somebody playing d3. Rayansh, I think, played d3 to stop e4. In some games, black got to play e4 and black got a good position. So whatever. So same happened, right?
If you also play d3, it blocks your white bishop.
Yeah, but you can't have everything right now. Right now he's about to play pawn to e4. So you don't want to allow that, no? The only way to stop that is by playing pawn d3. So you have to play pawn d3. So you have to react to the situation. So if you don't want any of this, just don't take on d5. Try to remember what is the best move that we learned.
Easy.
It is what Shaurya recommended. Queen to a4. We are completely changing direction of the game. Like, game was in the center. Now we moved a queen to the side, and suddenly there are different kind of threats in the position. What is the threat that white's making, Ashvik?
Knight takes e5.
Yeah, you agree, Arya?
Yeah.
Knight takes e5 is a big threat. It wins a pawn, a center pawn. So opening was it's a big threat, right? So what should black do? Should black play pawn takes pawn? Should black do something else? You can think for a bit and decide the correct move.
F6.
Pawn to f6, defending the e pawn. Says
Bishop to
Ranak.
d6.
Bishop to d6, defending the e pawn. Where Vikram?
Bishop to d7.
Bishop to d7. Okay, oh, you're defending the pawn by unpinning the knight. Okay, so creative, different options. Shaurya, why you can wash your hands and come, please. You're gonna touch the pieces. You're gonna shake hands. So you should not be picking your nose when you're in class. And before a chess game or in a tournament, don't pick your nose.
Sir, I accidentally picked it with my left pinky
Okay, when?
in a tournament.
Okay.
Well, you don't do
Your
this.
opponent will be, what do you say, a cringe moment for your opponent if
Sir,
you
but
do that.
Either blue.
Okay, so
Sir, can
let's
I
think.
use a-
Yes, of course. So has anybody decided other than the three people who told? No? So one of those moves is correct. One of those moves is a blunder and one of those moves is a mistake. Which is the blunder? So the moves were bishop d6, bishop d7 and pawn f6. One is a blunder, one is a mistake, one is a good move.
Bishop to d6 is a blunder.
Why?
Because pawn takes d5.
Yeah, bishop to d6 allows pawn takes d5 and tata goodbye to the knight. The queen is blocked. So now white wins a piece. So you cannot play bishop to d6 because of the pin on the knight.
So how does f6 change anything?
F6 changes defense a pawn, that's why.
But then, or did I block the pawn?
Yeah, one day pawn is never a problem. Only if you block the queen it becomes a problem. So f6 is the correct move. Bishop d7 is a slight mistake. Why? Why is bishop d7? Your move is correct, Ranak. F6, good. Why? Yes, Ari.
Because then pawn takes a
Yeah, it's a free pawn. It's actually two. Okay, the knight can move with a discovered attack, but the queen just moves back. You can call it a gambit, but nobody believes you, right? It just you lost a pawn, and there's not much compensation for it. So it's a mistake to do this. So let's go back. So basically, after here, after playing d5, when white plays queen to a4, just play pawn to f6 or queen to d6. These are not usual moves. Usually we will not bring the queen out and defend a pawn. We'll do the task with the knight or a bishop, right? And we also don't usually open up a king. So f6 and queen d6 are unusual moves, but those are the only two good moves here.
I would
You have to play.
d6.
Huh. So now how will the game continue? Either bishop to b5 or you can take, queen takes. Now the difference is already queen's active. Bishop to c4 because now black cannot castle that side. The game will be very complicated. That's why many people don't choose this. They choose the knight f6 line because that's a quieter version. This is the more chaotic version where anything can happen
So
because
queen takes on e4. Queen e4.
Queen e4, then I'll play. Okay, queen e4 is a slight problem now. I mean, you can go back with the bishop, or instead of bishop to
You
c4.
can't go back with the
Okay.
bishop.
Why can't you go? Oh, because the pin is there. Okay, so we can first play bishop e2, and then we castle. That's one option. Or if you're doing this, it's still okay. You can go king d1 because now your rook is coming in.
King d1 after black plays
We'll let him finish. Don't interrupt somebody.
get
Huh.
f7, bishop f7.
Why you give? Oh, there's a threat of bishop f7. Nice, Ranak. That's good awareness. Which means the queen has to move now. The threat is bishop f7. So this is a big problem. So either queen g6 or you
So
block.
queen g6, white queen b3 and same thing.
How is it same thing? Queen b3, how is it same thing? Bishop f7 will take it. And there's no
Oh
threat.
wait.
So you can move the queen and defend it. Or defend the queen right away, like bishop to f5. That's also fine. But white will play rook to e1. So that's what I'm talking about. The position is complicated. So white can go for activity over castling. you have 3 active pieces and the rook also comes in, but you have to be a little bit uncomfortable with the king here. So it's a risky thing to do. If you don't want to take that risk, just play bishop e2 castle and then go for the other continuations. So I believe we have covered the Ponziani with that, haven't we? Now it's time for revision.
Sir, but
Let-
I had a doubt in that.
In the final position?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get there again, then you can ask me when we revise. So after playing the Ponziani, knight out, c3. What are the main 2 moves shall we have for black?
So black can move its knight to f6,
Or,
or it can move its pawn to d5.
okay. Ranak, is bishop c5 also a good move for black?
Yes.
Okay, how many of you agree with Ranak? Rayansh agrees, nobody else agrees? What is wrong with everyone, right, Ranak? Why is nobody... One second. Why is nobody agreeing with Ranak, right? Rayansh is the only one who's agreeing with you. Developing a bishop to the best place possible. How can that be bad, guys? Aryan, why is developing a bishop to its natural square so bad?
Because pawn to d4.
Yeah, because white wants to play pawn d4
Oh yeah.
and you are greeting the pawn before it comes.
Sir, I
it help-
thought that you said that bishop c5 bad.
Uh-huh. So bishop to c5, d4 and white's better. Because white's getting the center and attacking the bishop. So after takes, or if you move the bishop, I'll take it. So takes, white has the full center. So it's bad for, you don't even have a knight on knight. It's not like the Italian. Our bishop is yet to develop, but we have the center and it's great. So that's why bishop c5 is not a good move. But this is what people play when they don't know the Ponziani.
Sir,
When they think, what is this
Sir,
creature doing
when
here?
I used to
Yes.
play with him, we used to play that.
Uh-huh. Okay.
No, I never even knew that.
Okay, fine. Let's not go back in time and all. So basically, knight f6 or d5. Now after knight f6, Virvikram, what's the correct move for white?
D4?
Yeah, many people simply play bishop d3 or pawn d3. Then your Ponziani makes no sense. If you're playing pawn c3 and then bishop d3 to defend the pawn.
Italian
We played
without the
yeah,
bishop on
we play d4. That's the idea. Now let's say black takes this pawn. What will we do here, Ashvik?
pawn, push the pawn on
Yeah,
d5
push and then
take the pawn.
yeah, and then take. And if black plays d6 Ranak, what will white do?
So bishop b5.
Yeah, bishop b5 and white's winning. So black cannot do that. So Aryan Khanna, what should black do here?
Pawn to f.
We didn't discuss that, right? We did not discuss what is the best move here. You guys told f6, g6 and all that. But the best move here is actually knight g6. Just opening up the bishop. Getting ready to develop the bishop. g6 opens too many dark squares around the
So
king.
if you play d6, does queen d4 work?
Where? After knight g6?
No. If
g6?
No, if you play d6.
If they play d6, why would you play queen d4? Just play bishop b5 and win now.
But so does that work?
What about queen d4? Why? It's just an exchange, no? I take, you take, it's just equal. There's nothing there. Bishop b5 just wins.
No, it's a check. It's a check.
Oh, queen d4, you're saying queen a4?
Yeah, queen.
Oh,
Queen
queen
A4.
a4. Queen a4, let's see.
Does it? is
Similar
this
to
a check?
bishop b5, you're attacking this knight as well. Let's see. But I'll play bishop d7, no?
Then you can just take.
Bishop b5.
1 second. Take what? Take what? Take with the knight, I'll take back.
Yeah. Then take the knight back. Then take the knight. Knight takes bishop.
Knight
queen
take
takes
bishop.
Back, queen takes back. Then just take the knight.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
No, and then take this piece.
I got an idea.
Yes.
Bishop blocks, bishop takes.
Bishop takes. How will bishop take?
Knight
Knight takes, queen takes.
Queen takes, bishop to b5.
Then c6. No?
So knight takes
Queen
bishop.
takes. So you win a piece right here. So bishop d7 wins a piece for white. Anyone disagrees? No. So Ashvik has a valid point. Queen a4 seems like a good move. What if I play c6, Ashvik? You will play pawn takes.
Yeah. Pawn takes.
Just like the other line. And now if I take back,
Again.
We
Pawn
take it
takes.
to the right.
you take with the knight, I
He
take
takes
back.
and we get.
No, what do you get?
Rotate.
I don't-
We got the knight.
You still get the knight, yeah? So queen a4 should also be good there. So you can try to analyze this at home after you go on chess.com. Just see if in the same line, instead of bishop to e5, is queen a4 going to work. So that's like an assignment to everyone. Alright?
Yeah, give
So,
homework.
so whoever...
I need to
Sir,
take
if
on BB
black-
also I forget.
Sir,
Uh-huh.
after we take
Yes,
on, sir, after we take on e4, sir, if black plays queen to e7,
Then you cannot take the rook because you will be making it illegal. So don't make it illegal there. Okay, so basically they don't play d6, knight g6 should be good, right? Okay, and the other lines I believe everyone understood. If black plays d5, then we play queen a4 and we are doing fine. Now we will see how many of you do the assignment next class, which is in 2 days. What is the assignment, Veer Vikram?
That we have to check if queen f4 is a good move.
Winning move, just like better than bishop b5, or is bishop b5 better than queen a4? So
Or is